Do you see this sliding toy? Take a closer look. It's known as Extra Slide. In Brazil, it's called a slide. He's a shapeshifter type monster. This creature likes to attack defenseless children and also distracted adults. It always appears at night. Never during the day because there are too many people around and that could put its life at risk. Its victims are most often easy prey. It was first mentioned by a man who was coming back from work, passing by a neighborhood playground. He felt something different that night. The man saw a new slide that had been put there and was blocking the path of the running track. He didn't think much about it and left. The next morning he passed by the park and to his surprise the slide wasn't there. He thought he was going crazy or seeing things because he hadn't been sleeping much. His workload was making him very exhausted. On his way back home, he passed by the place and, to his surprise, saw the slide again. Confused, he approached to examine the object more closely. He turned on his phone's camera and saw something fleshy. The toy seemed to be alive. The man then saw the eyes of the slide and ran away terrified. The next day, he brought a friend along who was curious about the story. Wanting to investigate the creature, his friend climbed onto the toy, and as soon as he slid down, the tube closed the exit. It seemed like the slide was chewing the guy up inside. This incident confirmed the theory that the toy also attacks adults. A shapeshifter that disguises itself as children's toys in search of easy victims, using the end of the tube as a mouth to grind up its food and eyes positioned on top to watch whoever comes near. It can easily change its size according to its needs since the creature is a shapeshifter, right? Always check the toys you use in parks because you might be close to this creature. Imagine that you are in your school library looking for a book, and you end up finding something different that shouldn't be among the books. A mysterious mask, and when you put it on your face, something strange happens. Something that seemed impossible becomes real. Hermenegildo was a 15-year-old teenager who suffered a lot at his school. He was constantly teased by the students because in people's eyes he was ugly. They made comparisons that made him even sadder. He started blaming God for making him that way, since no one would approach him to have a nice conversation or interact in a friendly way. Tired of this, he searched the internet for how to get plastic surgery to improve his appearance, but found out it would be impossible since the cost was unreal. Surrounded by anger at himself, he tried with his own hands to fix what, in his mind, God had done wrong. His desperate act ended up landing him in the hospital and undergo emergency surgery. His act came at a high price because his face got worse, and now Hermenegildo was being mocked more than ever. His routine was cruel, and he ended up ignoring everything people said about him and hid in the library. He spent most of his time in there reading, until one day he found something different. A white mask with 2 holes for the eyes. While he was looking at it, he heard a voice. "Hello, I am White Mask. Use me and you can be whoever you want, or however you want. Think of the face, say I accept out loud, and put me on." Hermenegildo didn't think twice and did it. Magically, he felt something different on his face. He grabbed his phone to check and was shocked. He was as handsome as he had imagined. It didn't look like he was wearing the mask. It was as if he had been born again. Everyone at school saw him and were shocked because Hermenegildo was handsome man, a real heartthrob. The teasing stopped and he was surrounded by girls wanting to enjoy his good looks. He felt blessed for having found that mask and credited it to God as well, thinking it was a correction of the mistake made by the Creator. What he didn't know was that the white mask was an ancient mystical artifact. Its purpose is to seek out unstable people with an opening to make its pack. The pack consisted of, as soon as the person agreed to wear it, white mask could inhabit and take control of that person. Little by little, it drains the host's energy, being able to feed for up to 2 months until it exhausts all the host's resources and the person dies. So my friends, if you see a mask somewhere out there, be careful because it could be white mask looking for its new host, alright? One day, a man of about 35 years old was leaving a bar and walking toward the corner. He was a bit drunk and his coordination was compromised. That's when he approached a manhole on the sidewalk and something happened. The manhole opened and the man fell inside. And that wasn't all. There were reports of people disappearing at that same corner, told by homeless people who slept there. They noticed a pattern that kept repeating. A person was walking. As they approached the manhole, the cover would open, flames would come out from inside, and the person would be pulled in. And the cover would close again. The police were called to the scene, and they listened to the homeless people, but they didn't believe them. So they went to look for evidence about the disappearances on that street. A recording was obtained from one of the establishments, and it showed what was happening. And it matched everything that had been reported to them. An investigation was started, and the main theory was that there was some kind of gas buildup in the sewer. And that's why there was an explosion, blowing off the manhole cover and causing people to fall in. But it would be quite a coincidence for this to happen just when the person is passing by the spot, and always around 3 o'clock, 3:59 in the morning, you know? They opened the manhole to try to find survivors or possible bodies, but nothing substantial was found. Only traces of ash were identified on the sewer walls. And it remained a mystery why this manhole would open and people would fall in. The locals who frequented the area nicknamed the manhole Luce's hole, with Luce being a nickname for something bad, right? Where the devil opens the manhole, flames come out and suck in the unlucky person passing by, right? Taking him straight to hell. One day a man of approximately